I'll get these like wild hairs, and it's like I'm gonna try to learn how to do this. And I'll open up Photoshop, I'll sketch out something, and then like move the leg like one time. It's like the stop motion animation that Ben did in Parks and Rec, where he thinks
press person do this.
Yeah, and you press play, and it's just like, and that was it. And I'm like, oh God, what? This is so miserable. And I just end up moving on to something else.
Yeah, that scene resonated with me so much.
Welcome to the Dastardly Dingoes Podcast, a show that celebrates all things nerdy. You'll get an insider's look into the world of comic books, graphic novels, TV and film, gaming and pop culture, as well as the technologies that drive all of it. Now, are you ready to get nerdy?
Welcome to the Dastardly Dingoes Podcast, the show about all things nerdy. We discuss nerd news, movies, TV shows, games, comics, and so much more. I'm Brian.
I'm Jimmy!
Brace yourselves, because we're about to get nerdy. All right.
What?
Everyone.
What was the problem with that?
Nothing. You just monotone to death. You're just like, I'm Jeremy.
We talked about this on the last
I know.
one. Like,
you have
my
I know, it's so
inside
wonderful.
voice is so dynamic. It just comes out flat.
Yeah. Like I said, you and Chad,
Jimmy!
Chad's the other co-host.
Like that.
There you go. Let's just edit that in, man.
Feels
Nice
so
little
weird.
snippet. What's better than I'm Jeremy? Life is wonderful. Actually, keep that. Rock that. That's great. It's your thing, man. You're like Ron Swanson. This week's guest, ladies and gentlemen, is indie royalty. She is an award-winning artist and writer from the mid-Michigan area. She is the writer and artist of the Western comic Plume, published by Devil's Due Comics, and her current series, For Goodness Sake. She has been involved with projects such as Boom's Garfield, His 9 Lives, Space Between Entertainment's Afterglow, Source Point Press's Hope, and Scout Comics' Loot. She's broken Kickstarter records and is an overall fantastic human being. And I'm super excited about this. She has launched her Kickstarter for Goodness Sake, Volume 3, which we're going to talk about in this episode. Ladies and gentlemen, dingoes and dingettes, we give you the snarling queen of indie comics herself. There it is. The phenomenal Kaylin Smith.
What an introduction. I love it.
Yeah, just carry it around in your pocket whenever you enter a room. Just play that. There you go.
Yeah, I love it. Thank you.
How you doing? How's 2021 treating you?
Better than 2020 so far.
Yeah,
That's good.
right. But wait. There's more. I hope not.
Very much.
Good grief.
But yeah, no, it's going well as it can at this moment in time. So yes.
Good.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, at this point in time, you have launched a Kickstarter. So how did that go?
It's always stressful to hit that launch button. You sweat through a number of shirts, and you have to hit that refresh button all the time.
All the
I don't know
time.
why.
It helps people back faster. That's why.
Oh, is that why?
That's what it is. Yeah.
I'm going to continue to do so then.
Well, we're glad to have you on the show. We're about to dive deep into your personal life and get all the nitty-gritty details. I'm sure you're excited about that. But first, we have a certain ceremony that we like to do for all of our guests that we enjoy having on the show. You are being knighted, madam, as not just an honorary dingo, and this is my call. You are now the Duchess of Dingoes.
Oh,
how's that?
Ooh.
There you go, man. So you have
Great.
free reign to the show. Anytime you want to come on, you just say so. You pop in, harass Jeremy, and we'll absolutely love it. It'll be great.
Certainly will. Look out, Jeremy.
Yes, exactly.
I'm used to it.
Yeah, he should be.
Gotcha.
But we ask the same questions for every guest that we have on the show. The first one is, what kind of nerd are you?
Ooh, so being a nerd is just passionate about whatever you're doing.
Yeah.
I'm super passionate about what I'm doing. And I'm a nerd for a lot of things, like animation, video games, really good books, really good movies. So I'm a nerd all around, I guess.
Look at you. So not just the Duchess of Dingoes, you're the Duchess of Nerds as well.
You know what? I'll take that title.
There you go, man. Just throw the
Changing
titles
Facebook
out there.
right now.
Yeah. I'm going to change everything. I'm going to change
Your
my
LinkedIn.
handles. That's my handle now. Yeah.
It should be.
Mhm. Mhm. I love it.
All right. So beyond that, you're a nerd for all of these things. Specifically, you mentioned for movies. So what is your top 5 favorite movies?
Such a hard question because
I know
all
everyone says that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I
Of all time.
I have a very strange list. Number one, I always say Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. That movie is just pitch perfect for me. The animation, the acting, just it's so beautiful. I love it. I could sit down and watch it over and over and over again. And the fact that you could pause it at any frame and it's crystal clear, just like a comic book. I love that movie.
Yeah.
And then I would go into a Goofy movie. I'm gonna really
Yes. Yes. Oh, dude, I have a Power Line shirt. I'm right there with you.
Love the music. I love the acting again. It's just a brilliant movie, and it's a feel good movie. Like if you're feeling down, you just pop that baby in, and you're in a better mood.
Mm-hmm.
It's Pauly Shore. Like you can't go wrong with Pauly Shore.
Exactly.
At my high school prom, I haven't told this story in years. I went center stage and did the Goofy.
Yes.
And half the people had no idea what I was doing, and I didn't care. It was so much fun. Oh, it was great. That's one of the best. It was one of the best movies I've ever seen.
Yeah, I love it. I recently just bought the DVD and rewatched it like 3 times in a row. It just makes me feel good, you know?
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
And then third, Shawshank Redemption. Just
man,
we're going heavy.
We're going all over the place. I like it.
I'm telling you, it's a weird list. Shawshank Redemption, just the writing, the acting, it's beautiful. It's a beautiful movie. We actually went to the Mansfield Reformatory in Ohio. That's where they filmed it.
Yeah.
We stayed overnight. It's supposed to be really haunted. So I'm into that crap there.
Man. What did you have any weird experiences?
A couple, yeah, but I mean, obviously, I'm still on the fence about the whole thing, so I'm just like, I can explain it away. From
off in the distance, you heard an Andy Dufresne crawl through a tunnel of shit and came back clean on the other side. That would freak me out. I'm just saying, the ghost of Morgan Freeman.
Yeah.
And they actually built Red's apartment inside the prison.
Oh, really?
So the set was still there, and it still had the beam that said Red was here.
Oh,
so,
wow.
Yeah, I was just giddy through the whole thing.
Yeah.
I'm supposed to be looking for ghosts. But
right. So, like, on one level, you're like fangirling, and the other level, you're like, all right, should I be freaked out? What's happening?
Right. Oh, yeah, people died here. That's right. And then, where am I? Okay, fourth would be, I'm a little embarrassed by this one, but also not. Pride and Prejudice, the 2005 version. Just awesome. I like period pieces, so
there you go. Nice. Now, who starred in that one? I'm trying.
Keira Knightley.
Okay, yeah, that one. So not the Colin Firth version, then.
Correct. Yeah.
Right. Okay.
If I have the year right, I'm hoping I'm.
That sounds right. I think that. Yeah.
I don't know why that's a comfort movie for me. I really don't, but it's there, you know.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Rock it.
And then
everybody has like those movies that is like comfort food, you know.
Right. And then especially after 2020, you kind of need those comfort movies.
Yes.
Right?
Any comfort thing you can get, just go do it. No one judges.
And then the fifth one's a weird one. I'm not a huge horror fan.
Mm-hmm.
I love it. I think it's
nice.
Beautiful. Like even the old and the new, the remake too. I love those movies. I truly do. But I don't really go for horror. However, my fifth favorite movie is The Blair Witch Project.
Okay.
Yeah.
I love it for its behind the scenes stuff. I love that it's a small small budget movie, and then it made so many groundbreaking records, and that the found footage genre was suddenly created. It just paved the way.
I remember when it came out, like people legit thought it was real.
Yeah.
You know, like when it first came out, and then the star was on she was on a talk show, and everyone was like, wait a minute.
Yeah. You're not dead.
I feel lied to. You mean Hollywood's not real? But
the marketing around that movie, it's just brilliant. It's like, I love it for what it is. It's just, it broke so many rules. And so I just love that it did that. So I love it as a whole piece, not just as a movie standalone. So
absolutely. And the best, I think the thing they did so well, because I love the Blair Witch Project as well, but I think that the thing they did so well was make you scared of something you absolutely never saw.
You never see anything. Yeah. No. It's crazy.
It's just their reactions to stuff.
When it falls over, right, and your view is skewed, and you can't really make out what, every single person was trying to like look around to figure out, and there's nothing there. You can't make it out. I thought that was just a great, ending it with that cliffhanger.
Absolutely. So, all right. So you obviously make comics. So we can't go further without asking you what your top 5 comics of all time are.
Now, see, I gotta preface this with saying that I didn't grow up on comics. I grew up on animation. I thought I was going to be an animator. I truly, truly thought I was going to be a number in a studio. So I have, I can name animations across the board that I absolutely love. So comics actually are a later in life kind of thing. I think my first ever introduction to a long form like graphic novel was Mouse from its art, Spiegelman.
Yeah.
So that was in high school, I believe, and that book blew me away. And I think that was the first time I was like, wow, this genre can really hit a subject matter.
Yeah.
So that's always on my list of favorite comics, and it's always a heavy one.
For sure.
I'm just like, there's no fancying that one up. But yes, I love that one. I love Paper Girls.
That's a great series.
The color palette in that series is just absolutely phenomenal. It's just, I don't know, there's just, the artwork just grabs you immediately. And it's like the Stranger Things,
Absolutely. Yeah. It was so funny because that's how it was, pitched to me, like to read it. It was like, if you like Stranger Things, this is essentially the same type of story.
I'll have to go get it then.
Yeah.
It's fantastic.
Yeah. It's beautifully done. And then I would say, so I have a couple web comics that I absolutely love. And one is Lackadaisy by Tracy Butler.
Okay.
It's like a 1920s period, and it's all cats, and they're just
nice.
The speakeasies kind of deal. Yeah, the artwork is just absolutely beautiful, and they're actually working on an animated movie currently. So
really,
cool.
What's it called?
Lackadaisy. And then another webcomic that I absolutely love, and it's discontinued, but it's called Platinum Grit. Cooper, I think is our last name. Trudy Cooper, I think. But it was Platinum Grit, and it has, it was a digital webcomic that you would click through and the panels would appear.
Cool.
It was years ago. I don't even know when it was discontinued, but loved the style, the witty art. It was just fun.
Nice. Lumberjanes,
like anything like up that alley. Yeah, I know that a lot of the books fall under Marvel and DC, but indie books are just where I'm at. And I love my peers. I love Brian Rothman series. I mean, so I feel like I have a huge pile of things to read through, and I'm sure my next favorite comic will be in that pile. So
I'm looking at a few.
Hey, there
right here.
Nice.
Just for a quick measure, what if you had to pick one, and this is just off the cuff, what animation sticks out to you the most?
Well, I mean, Into the Spider-Verse is definitely something that pops out. Growing up, however, I loved Gargoyles.
Yes.
That series just, Brooklyn was my boy. Like I love that series so much. I drew so many gargoyles growing up.
Yeah.
So
I had all the toys. It was
Me too.
a great show. Have you revisited it all since it's been on Disney Plus?
no, not yet. Not yet.
Oh man,
And
it
I know-
holds up. It holds up really well. Yeah.
I even had the board game. You know, you put the VHS in and then you played the board game.
Yes, I totally forgot about that.
Yeah.
Oh, that's all right. I'm gonna watch Gargoyles tonight.
Yeah, actually, yeah. I always watch stuff in the background while I'm working, but I fear that one might be where I stop and actually like start watching it. Like,
Yeah.
can't work. But
Yeah,
Sure,
I have to
man.
be careful what is on the TV while I'm working. Otherwise, a whole day goes by. It's like, oh, I watched 8 episodes of this show.
yep.
Nothing else to show for it.
Oh man, no, I have a similar just love for animation. I think anything Don Bluth is right up my
absolutely.
alley. I mean, like I've said this before on the show, but like if I could pick an animation team to create Memoirs of an Angel, the animated series, I would just give it to the team that did The Secret of Nim.
Oh, I was
Like-
just gonna say that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, there you go, guys, have fun. So
For sure.
Yeah, like All Dogs Go to Heaven, like
Yeah.
like that darker animation, I absolutely love. Like I just love it. Yeah.
it was Disney with an edge,
Yes.
and it wasn't afraid to tackle darker issues, and I absolutely, it was literally like I think the darkest Disney cartoon I've ever seen was The Black Cauldron. And,
Oh yeah.
yeah, and I feel like every Don Bluth movie was just as dark, if not darker than that.
Yeah.
Anastasia was Don Bluth as well, right?
Yeah, I think he did that right before Titan AE, and then he retired, but now he's back. So
Yeah,
that
I
makes me
hear that.
excited.
Yeah. And it's 2D as well.
I know it's traditional stuff, and I'm excited to see what he pumps out. He's
That's cool.
He's getting up there too. He's like in his 80s, so I'm like,
Yeah,
better
hold on, man. Come
better
on.
hurry, buddy. It's like, come on, we need you.
All right, here's a new segment we're going to introduce called Begging and Pleading. It's where we're going to hit you with facts like we've had over 25,000 views on our channel, which is amazing, but only 10% of those people have subscribed to our show, which means we've got the vast majority of people coming and watching and then leaving. We want you to come and want you to watch our videos, but if you like it, just take the time to click on the like button, hit subscribe, hit the bell notification, share with your friends. It means a lot, and it helps us to continue to do what we're doing. Have you done it yet? Okay, go ahead. I'll wait. We've got shows coming out almost every day. We're doing movie reviews, TV show reviews, comic book reviews. We are interviewing all kinds of indie creators about the process and what it's like to market yourself in this age and digital world, tackling tough topics like imposter syndrome and what it's like to be a nerd. All right, end of rant, back to the show.
So you have a lot of background interest in animation and stuff. So dive into that. Take us back to the wee Kaylin Smith, and tell us your story. How'd you get into writing and illustrating comics and go from animation to that?
It's been 80 years. Yeah, I actually, so, obviously I spent all my time as a youngster just in a pile of paper and pencils in front of the TV, pausing my favorite animations and drawing it. And that includes Secret of Nim,
Yeah.
So yeah, I aspired to be an animator and, a storyboard artist. Actually, I really wanted to be a storyboard artist. So I went to school for animation, and, obviously graduated, and to work up the portfolio, I started drawing on the side. And I thought, hey, I read web comics, and the web comics are like, storyboards.
Yeah.
So why not start drawing and creating my own stories and prove that I can tell a story through my art? And here we are. I created Plume, started posting it through a site called Smack Jeeves, RIP.
Yeah.
It recently just went down, I was told. So
Did it really? It's kaput finally, huh?
It's officially gone.
Oh man.
But yeah,
I clutch the omnibus tightly now.
yes.
Which, by the way, just a plug, this hardback omnibus is gorgeous. It is fantastic. If you guys have not checked that out yet, go to kaylinsmith.net and treat yourself. So,
Yep.
It's my pride and joy, and obviously it's the horse and buggy that led me into this career. Without it, I wouldn't have even considered doing the comic world. So I really, that comic holds a very special place in my heart. But I first did the first issue on Kickstarter, and that was when I finally realized that this could be an option for me, and people actually wanted to spend money on something that they could get for free online. And
isn't that such a weird feeling where you're just like, why are you doing this?
What are you doing?
And like other people understand, because like I look at your work and I absolutely love it. You know what I mean? Like I just throw money at you every time you put something on Kickstarter. But like when I put something on Kickstarter and people do that to me, I'm like, but why? I'm just like, I don't get it, man.
Yeah.
So
no, I appreciate it immensely. I really truly do. But so here's an animator into the comic world, and she absolutely loves it. So
cool. Now, what made you really decide that you wanted to go into storyboarding?
I didn't want to animate every freaking frame.
Why? I don't understand. That sounds so appealing to me.
Yeah, it's great.
Every time, like, I'll get these like wild hairs, and it's like I'm going to try to learn how to do this, and I'll open up like Photoshop or something, and it's like I'll sketch out something, and then like move the leg like one time, and it's like the stop motion animation that Ben did in Parks and Rec, where he thinks
press person do this.
Yeah. And you press play and it's just like, and that was it. And I'm like, oh God, what? This is so miserable. And I just end up moving on to something else.
That scene resonated with me so much.
Yeah.
Yes.
But actually, when I was in school too, the school was forcing 3D animation. So they're like, no, there's no future in 2D. You're going to all learn 3D. And I kind of like dug my heels in and said, no, I want to be a character designer or a storyboard artist. So I was kind of hoping for like the 2D element.
Yeah.
So I focused on the storyboarding aspect, and, to avoid 3D animation, which I heard dealt with a lot of math, and I didn't.
Gross. Yeah, no thanks.
Yeah.
Gross. Yeah, I think that's the worst thing an artist ever wants to hear. It's like, here, come do this wonderful art for Disney Pixar, but you have to know formulas and you have to know calculus. No thanks.
Yep.
I'm good. Yep.
Yeah.
See you later.
And I mean, most of the time you have to learn like a programming language as well.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. So I was concentrating on that artistic side, design side, I should say. Yeah.
Indeed. Yeah. So connect the dots between like going to school for storyboard and creating Plume.
Graduated, and then, before I even started applying to studios, I knew I needed to bulk up my portfolio. And the portfolio that I had currently was obviously all through college, and it was, fine art, still lives and all that. So I knew I needed to lean more on the animation side, in the storyboarding side. So I mean, don't get me wrong. It sounds so easy. Like I was like, oh yeah, I started Plume and here I am. No, it was a false start. Like 10, I think I have maybe 6 or 7 false starts of Plume. There's like different versions out there. And did I land on the best version? Probably not.
Well, we'll never know. So sure, it's the best version,
Yes. But that self-doubt in the beginning. Wow. I even posted pages and then deleted them immediately. Like,
oh yeah.
Yeah. So, that it's just a matter of starting and continuing that. Sorry, my cat.
I know. I locked mine out because otherwise she'd be doing the same thing.
Oh, no. If you lock her out, she's going to be banging at the door. Like literally, she knows how to bang at doors.
Oh, that's great. Mine, she'll just sit there and cry, which breaks my heart, but I have headphones on, so we're fine.
That's the key.
Indeed.
but yeah, I mean, after finally hunkering down and getting Plume out there and slowly watching the readership tick up, that was when I was like, all right, let's stop the pursuit of being a studio number and let's create artwork for the comic world. So
Very
cool. Yeah. Well, you may have already answered this, but what is the most significant like commission or comic that you've ever created?
I get a lot of commissions for passed away pets. And I think that bringing back a memory or, just the memory of a pet or even an individual that you've lost. I think those resonate with me the most because, you see the reactions. You're like, okay, heart hurt. Thank you. So yeah, I think doing that for people, I think, those commissions are really important to me.
Really
cool. So you have self-published. You're currently self-publishing, for goodness sake, and you have also worked with publishers. So tell us the biggest difference as an indie creator in your experience and just creating for a publisher versus self-publishing a book.
Well, definitely, I'll talk with Plume. Obviously, Devil's Due published it for me, brought it to comic stores, helped me fulfill the Kickstarter. So they were great in that aspect because they didn't touch my book. They didn't edit.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was completely my own. I own the property. They didn't want to share in it at all. It was just purely to help me get it out into Diamond and onto the shelves.
Yeah.
And then obviously helping me with the Kickstarters, which was huge relief. So yeah, I mean, having that logo on my book looks great. And I'm truly thankful for what they've done for me. But yeah, on the other side with For Goodness Sake, it's purely on my own. Kickstarters are hell, you fulfilling a Kickstarter on your own. My poor husband is the one that I'm like, you're sitting down and you're taping 900 boxes for me.
What a champ, man. Yeah. That's awesome.
Wow. I make sure to marry him before I like drop that bomb on the top.
Yeah, that's what I did with Robin, man. I got her and then we were like, let's do comics.
Yeah. You're gonna be in a mailroom for the rest of your life.
How do you feel about paper cuts?
Right. Get acquainted with him.
So yeah, I mean, obviously, the Kickstarters are a chore, but I absolutely love it. I mean, every book passes through my hands, so I get to like write little little messages to people, or just make sure everything is there. And with Devil's Due, they hired out a fulfillment center, so they have no connection to the book. They have no connection to these people. So there were some orders that weren't fulfilled, and I mean, I get it. They have a lot.
It happens. Yeah.
They deal with a lot. So, handling it on my own, I was able to, make sure everything runs smoothly the way I want it to. So, and I only have myself to blame when one gets lost in the mail. So,
well, and the thing with that is like everything that someone will receive, like these two, or all three of these, like I got them from you. And you can't say that if you buy something off Amazon or through a publisher or something, or in a comic store. Like that aspect of it is really cool for the reader, but also the creator. Because if something does come up, you can just email the person directly and explain and say, hey, how can I make this better? And I think it brings a whole new dynamic to the relationship between the reader and the creator.
Absolutely. Yeah. And seeing these names too, as I'm like printing off shipping labels and stuff, I'm like, oh, I know that name. It's a repeating person. Oh yeah, there's Brian right there. Yep. So yeah, it's just, when we're eventually able to go back to conventions, I'll know those names. I'll know those faces. And so, it definitely builds that relationship a lot more. So fulfilling those Kickstarters, I complain, but also I kind of love them.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then, it's solely my property. It's mine. It's my control. I control everything. So yeah, there's some pros and cons, but
Yeah, and speaking to like controlling everything, like as far as the creation process, because you've worked with some other publishers as well. I know you said Devil's Due really kind of let you do whatever you want. Have you ever had like a more? I know you've collaborated, but like as far as publishers versus just doing your own thing, what are kind of the pros and cons with that during the actual creation process?
Yeah, I'm going to talk a little bit about, SourcePoint. We did Hope through SourcePoint, and we had an editor, Heather Antos, and I absolutely love her. I love her. But in a panel that we had together, I let slip that I was like, I actually hated you in the beginning because she came in and edited my work, which had never been edited before. And
yeah,
I
weird.
Yeah. And suddenly somebody telling me like, oh, you do better. And I'm like, excuse me?
Yeah, right.
Me do better. This is the best you're ever going to get. What are you talking about?
Hands down, I absolutely love her. She has allowed me to improve my work and allowed me to think, critically about my work and like what I'm doing wrong. And yeah, I owe her a lot, and I'm truly thankful to be able to work with her. So yeah, it's interesting to go from Plume, which was never touched, and then I had a couple collaborations here and there, and then to Hope, which was like Heather Antos entered. Yeah. And I'm like, okay, yeah, it was definitely a hard pill to swallow, but I'm truly grateful for it. I really am.
Yeah, it is an interesting experience. Like I've only self-published, and but I've worked with editors. An upcoming project that I have, I worked with Stephanie Menard, who we both know, and she was my editor for this upcoming project, and she was great. Like she didn't like, which honestly, she told me, she's like, maybe do this. And that was it. Like those are the only notes she gave me. And so I was like, see, you're a good editor because you don't try to change things. But honestly, like it is kind of like an attack to our pride a little bit, because we're like, this is exactly how it should be. And then you give it to somebody else and they're like, they can see it from the outside and they can see it a little different way. And they're like, but this actually might be better. And you're so close to it that you can't tell.
Right. Yeah. You're like, oh, dang it. Yeah, I had a fellow artist, Mandy Robertson, look at my For Goodness Sake. And I actually have a thank you, but I'm officially making her my editor because she kicked my butt. Oh my gosh. I am the tangent queen, apparently. I didn't realize this until she went through. She had, I'm not joking, she had 70 pages worth of edits.
Holy crap, man.
Wow.
Of tangents. And I told her to be brutal. I want everything she sees. I opened the document and it's, it's double spaced and it's spaced out, but still 70 pages. I opened the document. Ooh. I sat back. I was like, okay. Walked away.
Yep. Alcohol is needed.
Yep. Oh, yeah. But no,
I'm
really thankful for that too. I mean, people have to tell you how to improve, and yeah, she told me how to improve.
Well, and I mean, really, hey, both you guys created something special, because it takes a lot, and I think a lot of people that read comics feel this way. It takes a lot for us to actually like audibly, respond to a comic. At least for me, it does. And with specifically For Goodness Sake, Volume 1, I don't know how many times I actually laughed out loud. And like the time where there was one where like somebody gets punched and I was like, yes. And like, I don't do that when I read comics, but with yours, I absolutely did. And so like, you guys nailed it. It's such a good series. I will evangelize this series until the day I die, because it is so freaking good. And I can't wait to get into Volume 3 here in a little bit after this next question. But yeah, guys, go back to Kickstarter. It's a fantastic series.
Yay, thank you. Yep. Thank you so much.
Yep. So what would be advice that you could give somebody who is like starting their own Kickstarter, or starting in comics and looking for figuring out how to do it, like crowdfunding and things like that?
It's it's a really stupid piece of advice. Shia LaBeouf said it best. Just do it.
You got to get into it though, like he did. Just do it with the in the background. Yeah.
It truly, like I said, I had so many false starts with Plume. Second guessing myself, deleting the pages, doing it over and over and over and over. And it's a matter of just doing it and keeping up a schedule, maintaining, the schedule and allowing that audience to build. And I know, your first instinct is to jump onto Kickstarter and get that baby into print, but you got to build an audience first, and you got to build that loyalty behind it. So yeah, it's a completely slow, utterly slow build. It's horrible. However, it's worth it. It truly is. And, just jump in and keep it up, even though it's really difficult. But yeah, just keeping up a schedule, especially now, we live online, it's so much easier nowadays to start a comic. And I think, my timing was perfect because the web comic, scene was building more and more. It's starting to become an actual, they're actually toe to toe with these professional, comics out there. And I think, nowadays it's just a matter of getting an audience online and then, crowdfunding.
Yeah, I know. Like the thing when Robin and I first started, doing comics, it was very, very, that was the mindset from the get-go. It was, we are going to start here and just keep going no matter what for at least 5 years and see where we end up. And before the 5 years was up, we had a great fan base and we were able to actually accomplish a lot of our goals. But that's really, I think that's what a lot of indie creators, they get discouraged quickly because it can be very discouraging. And it was for me, as you said, it was, for you, you had many false starts and you can just kind of get caught in that rut of like, oh, nobody really cares, even if it's not true. Like you have that imposter syndrome kind of, you had that absolutely from the get-go. And I think the best advice, you nailed it, is just do it and keep doing it. Keep showing up because before I created comics, I enjoyed indie comics, but I would always look for the creators that had multiple things on the table. That was kind of my thing. Like every now and then, if something really caught my eye, that just was in issue 1 or something like that, I'd pick that up. But that shows if people have multiple things on the table or online, there's consistent issues or so long with a web comic, it shows that there's devotion, that this person isn't going to give up. They're going to stick around. So from the reader's perspective, you're going to continue to get good stuff that you're going to devote your time to. So I think that really plays into it a lot is, you have to understand that side of it to just keep muscling through all of that early discouragement for sure.
Yeah. I so many times I've shipped out like a video or some graphics or something like that. And like, I hate it, but I know that I have to like at least start the process. I think that is what has helped me like overcome some of that imposter syndrome, because what I do working with clients, it's a back and forth. So I used to want to make everything perfect the first time and was so like worried about that and would spend so much more time than I needed to, only to have the person say, well, I want this, and this changed. And, so yeah, I think just doing it and keep doing it. I think that's great advice.
Yeah, the imposter syndrome. Holy crap. That really gets you. Us creatives, why do we beat ourselves up?
Every day it's like you just wake up and you're in it and you're like, oh, you have to fight it the rest of the day.
Garbage person. Yeah.
Well, that's the thing is just, it's the feeling of not, and we've had entire episodes based on, that topic here. And it's just, it really is. It's something that plagues creatives. It's something that I think plagues everybody. It's the same with like not fitting into a social circle, all that kind of, you can branch that out into many different facets. But I do think a good combatant of imposter syndrome, which is also a good reason to stay consistent and keep creating is you build community. And I think that is probably the number one deterrent of imposter syndrome is you build a community around you of your peers that are also doing the same thing alongside you. Like right here in this episode, Jeremy has made all of my Kickstarter videos. You have made 2 variant covers for Memoirs of an Angel that have been beautiful and great. And it's just like, I wouldn't, this wouldn't be happening if we hadn't persisted. And we had I love that aspect of just keep going. People are going to come alongside you. People are going to, encourage you in that way. And you'll find your tribe doing that.
Yeah. Yeah. And it all boils down to don't be a dick. Yeah.
Exactly. That's the key, kids.
That's right.
The more you know.
It's really simple. Yeah.
Yeah, it truly is. No, for some people it's not, but
that's true. Some people they're like, but I have to. It's like, well, then you're going to be sad and alone. I don't know what to tell you. So, all right. So we've talked about, we've kind of hinted at For Goodness Sake a few times. I am so excited that this launched on Kickstarter. And like I have the first 2 volumes. They are hilarious, compelling. The art is beautiful. The storytelling is great from the dialogue to the artwork itself. So tell us just a little bit for our viewers that haven't seen or haven't read For Goodness Sake, kind of give the overall synopsis and what to expect for this new volume.
So so the basic plot for Goodness Sake is main character is Thatcher. He finds himself cursed, and basically when he's a tool to somebody and the way they react to him, he goes more demonic. So, he goes from being demonic to being human based on how people react to him. So he runs into this hippie in a renovated school bus. And she's this, flower child that believes that she can help him cure this curse by doing good deeds. And so, they travel around the U.S. in this bus, trying to cure him. And Thatcher is probably one of my favorite characters ever to write because he's such a turd. But this 3rd volume, I don't want to give away too much.
Spoiler free for sure, but just a little taste.
It is the 3rd and final volume. So with For Goodness Sake, it was supposed to be a travel comic, obviously. I was actually with my husband renovating a school bus. This school bus is based on a real bus that's part of
cool.
house.
Oh, that's cool.
So that baby was supposed to travel around the U.S. and I was supposed to base their episodic, good deeds on that bus wherever we land.
Yeah.
However,
that's awesome.
Something happened in the past year. And so obviously the comic took a different turn. I'm ending it a lot sooner than I thought. However, I'm very happy with how it ended, how it came to be. And so this last volume is basically Thatcher. God, what do I even reveal that doesn't give away anything? It brings it to a close.
That's fine. I think that's enough. Just your excitement and like apprehension of saying too much is exciting. Yeah.
I'm loving it. I'm absolutely loving it. It's kicking my butt because it's definitely a lot more action packed than the other 2 volumes. So a lot more goes down in it. But I'm really enjoying where it's going. And I hope you guys do too. It's
very cool. Very cool. Now, are there any specific rewards that you want to talk about that, you really enjoyed creating or that you're excited for people to get?
I love the drawn in tier. So those who select it, they get to be drawn into the book. And the last volume, people were drinking with them at a fair. So,
awesome.
Yeah.
That's so cool to do. And that is another thing I think that, you get with, more, you don't necessarily, it's not exclusive to self-publishing, but I feel like you find that more is when the creator has that direct control, you can do fun stuff like that. I think that's great.
Yeah,
absolutely.
1,000%. Yeah.
Well, that's
awesome.
great. We are. I am absolutely going to be backing that and sharing the crap out of that on social media when it here soon. So, all right.
Yeah,
well,
and
go ahead.
I'm kind of a noob when it comes to comics, so I'm having to like play catch up, and so I'm always coming across like like your work, things like that excites me. So yeah, I'll definitely be looking into your book.
Yeah, volume 1 and 2 will be offered, or is being offered right now. So yeah,
Currently, right now.
currently,
No, we aren't recording this before it launches. No.
That's funny.
No, but yeah, so newcomers will also be able to
Awesome.
get the first and second volume. So, and I want to address, so the last campaign had second volume, and the first volume is a different size than the second.
Yes.
It drives me crazy. It was the same printer and everything, and they told me the specs, and it was supposed to be great, it's supposed to be fun, but this Kickstarter will have a reprint of volume 1, so everything is going to be the same size.
So was it just like a little bit off, or was it like an inch?
A tiny bit, like
it's enough to make my eyeball twitch. Yeah, it's.
Yeah. That would bug me.
Yeah. I noticed it like when I put them both up. I did this, and I was like, what? I mean, it didn't. That was literally the only time I thought about it. I can imagine as a creator. Oh gosh, that would drive me insane. Oh man.
Yeah. It was only until I had 20 boxes in my home blocking my doorway, and I opened it up, and I'm like,
it hurts. Oh man.
But did it just like cut too deep, or was it just like sized completely differently? It's like
sized completely different.
Yeah, no, the story, it's all there.
Yeah.
Like it's all there. None of the artwork got chopped off or anything. It was just sized differently.
Yeah, it's the same printer and everything too. It it drives me bonkers. So
weird. All right. Well, to come to a close in our time here, thank you very much for joining us. This was great. And we'll have to have you back on when we do some topical shows just to have some fun.
Well,
and you are the Duchess of Dingo.
That's right.
So it's required.
She's just gonna like burst in.
Hey guys. But before you go,
my show.
This is mine now. Get out the way, boy. This is the Dastardly Dingoes. Let's do it.
That's good.
But before you go, we want to do a wonderful little thing that we do with everybody called the Dastardly Dingoes flashcard round. And that is a random flashcard that Jeremy pulls out and asks a silly question. So, Jeremy, take it away.
All right. So if you could bring one famous person back from the dead, who would it be and why?
Oh. Stan Lee.
Okay.
We can keep creating.
Selfishly, just bring him back so we can get more cool stuff.
Is that a cop-out? Is that a cop-out answer?
No, it's not a cop-out answer. So. No.
Audrey Hepburn, I guess. Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, that's a very good question.
I like it. I like both of those answers.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Yeah, I think.
I'm trying to think of a clever one. I feel like that was a cop out, but yeah.
No, not a cop out. No. Hey, you're the Duchess of Dingoes.
Yeah,
you
whatever
you get to say what you want. So there you go. We're not going to question it. This is a safe place. All right. Well, thank you so much again for being on the show. Kaylin Smith, let us know and all of our viewers where we can find your work.
KaylinSmith.net, and you can find all my social media through there as well. So I won't even go through all my handles because it's just a mess, but KaylinSmith.net.
Cool.
All right, great, cool. Well, thank you again for being here. This was a great time. And thank you all for tuning into the Dastardly Dingoes podcast. Remember to hit like, subscribe, and share with your friends. Also hit that bell to get a reminder when a new episode airs. And as always, have fun, be safe, and remember, kids, read comics and snarl at your loved one.
That's right.
There you go. See you next time, everybody. Thanks.